Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Faith, Love, and Vision Loss. My name is Wendy and I am here today to talk to you about my journey as a legally blind person. This is all new to me, and if you're new to my channel, I've been visually impaired for a little over a year and a half now. My mom passed away in December of 2019, and a few days later I had a second retinal detachment, which caused my vision to go haywire, and here I am today. And one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today is about something really important that most of us deal with, but that those of us with vision loss deal with on a regular basis. And today I'm going to talk to you about anxiety. Now, what is anxiety? A lot of people say, well, anxiety just causes you to go crazy. And anxiety is just, it's not real. It's just something that you make up in your head. And I honestly used to be one of those people. I used to say that anxiety was not real. But anxiety is very real. And anxiety is, the dictionary definition says that anxiety is a feeling of nervousness, worry, or unease. And it is usually brought about by the feeling of an uncertain outcome or an imminent situation. Now, with this definition, what we're saying is that everything in life causes anxiety because we never know what the outcome is going to be. Everything can cause us to feel nervous or to worry or to feel uneasy. So that's what anxiety is. Anxiety is life. I'm here to tell you that everyone goes through a certain type of anxiety. Some of us deal with it, some of us don't. Some of us recognize it, and some of us don't. Since I've been visually impaired, my anxiety has been heightened. But I have found ways to control it, put it at bay, and try to keep moving forward every day without living worried and living nervous and being uneasy in every situation. The reason why I'm talking about this today is because I was in a situation just a few days ago. I went to a family get-together. It wasn't like a big party or anything like that. It was like an open house for my cousin Giovanna's graduation. And I was fine going there, parking the car with my husband. As soon as we got out of the car, we didn't know where we were going. And so I felt a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie, about how we were gonna find my tia's condo in this complex. By the grace of God, we ran into my Nina Tere and we followed her. Of course, she walks really fast, and so we were having a hard time keeping up with her. And this was causing anxiety for me because I didn't know where I was going and I couldn't see because the sun was shining very bright that day. And it was causing anxiety for my husband because he didn't know where he was going. And he was carrying Spanky and trying to help me walk. And he was also carrying a big bouquet of flowers for Jovi. And it was just, we were just a hot mess. Hot mess. And so when we got to the front door, they tried to hold it open for us, but the front door kept closing. And so it caused more uneasiness, so we were, becoming aggravated at this point. And I just, when I walked into the house, I had Arturo help me to the couch, and I sat down, and I sat there, and I talked to some of my tias, and a few of my cousins as they came by and said hello. Everybody at this event was vaccinated, so I know that that's not the reason why I felt so worried. Had nothing to do with the pandemic. It had nothing to do with COVID. It didn't even have anything to do with the fact that there was a lot of people passing by, because no one was lingering or anything like that. It was because I was in a new environment. I didn't know where anything was. I didn't know where the bathroom was. I didn't know where my husband was at this point because he went outside to sit with Spanky, since, we take Spanky with us everywhere we go. And I was just feeling uneasy. And it's interesting because I had just watched a video about anxiety, and it was about a girl, who she heard voices and got nervous, and, voices got louder and louder, and I found myself in the exact same situation, guys. Now, this was new for me, because I hadn't felt that before. And so I was sitting there because, everybody was passing by. I didn't have the freedom of getting up to go to a different small group of people to have a conversation because I didn't know where I was going or what was around me, what furniture was around me, like how far I could go without hurting myself or falling or any of that. So I was sitting there contemplating, should I get up and try to go to talk to my cousin, or should I just sit here? And then the voices around me started getting louder and louder and louder. And like an angel sent from heaven, my cousin Sophia came over and said, Wendy, do you need anything? And I was like, you know what? Would it be okay if you were to go tell Arturo that I'm ready to go? And so she went and told him that I was ready to go. And before we left, my tia Alma, who is such a godsend, helped me into the backyard so that I could take a picture with the graduate, with my cousin, who I'm very proud of, Dr. Giovanna Gallardo. And we took a picture, and I walked out of there calmly, even though in my head I was like freaking out. Oh my God, I hear all these voices. I don't know what to do. And as we were walking to the car, I was pretty calm. And then we drove home. And when we started going up the stairs, I flipped out on Arturo because it was too much for me. And again, it wasn't the pandemic. It wasn't the people. It wasn't any of that. It was just that I was in a new environment. I didn't know how to move around, where to go, what to do. I felt stuck and I was scared. And so when I got home, like I said, I flipped out on my husband. It was not the best situation for us. And it brought me back to the beginning of my journey. And at the beginning of my journey, I was having trouble sleeping. I was scared all the time. I really, because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if surgery was going to help my situation. I didn't know if my vision was just going to come back. I didn't know if my vision went away because I was in such grief for the loss of my mother. It was just one thing after another, on top of everything else that happened to us. There was a loss on my husband's side of the family, a huge loss for his family. So we were just, having things thrown at us. And this was the beginning of my journey. This was the beginning of me becoming blind. Because I was in denial about it. And I wasn't in a comfortable situation. I didn't know what was going to happen with us as a couple, with my husband. I had in my head that he was going to get fed up and he was going to leave. And so that's one of the reasons why I couldn't sleep at night. That thought kept me up constantly, thinking that he was just going to grab his stuff in the middle of the night and leave because this was too much. And so throughout all this, I was freaking out too about our financial situation. I was like, I bring in half of the income in this household. What's going to happen to us? And I have another cousin. I have a huge, beautiful family. Another cousin, her name is Luz. And she is a very strong Catholic. And she has never, ever, ever, ever given up on me. She always prayed for me, always told me to pray, to go to church. She prayed for my mom all the time, prayed for my family. She was just always telling me to pray and telling me to turn to God. And so I called her in the middle of my anxiety, in the middle of all this that was happening. And I told her how I was feeling. And so she told me to pray. And I was like, oh, you always tell me to pray, and I do pray, and nothing happens. And so she sent me a very specific prayer. She sent me a YouTube link, and she sent me the text so that Arturo and I could read it together. And this prayer is called the Chaplet of the Divine Mercy. And this chaplet is the most beautiful thing that I have ever prayed. And the first couple times that I did it, I just kind of listened to it. There's a song. There's lots of songs, but she sent me a very specific version of the song, and I didn't know it was a prayer, so I was like, Arturo, play this song for me. We were putting my clothes away in the room, and played the song, and I was like, oh, okay, it just keeps repeating itself over and over again. Okay, whatever, And so the next morning, when I woke up, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out right now. Can you play that YouTube video for me? And so, he played the YouTube video, and it was the prayer. And as I'm listening to it, I realized that the song I listened to the night before was the prayer. I didn't know that at first. I was like, oh, it's the prayer. It's kind of like the rosary. It keeps repeating itself over and over again. And the main thing about the chaplet is that you're placing your trust in Jesus. And you're asking him to have mercy on everyone in the world. And it's very beautiful and very powerful. And so I started praying the chaplet every day. Every morning when I woke up, I was like, I gotta pray my chaplet. I have to pray my chaplet. I started playing my chaplet, praying my chaplet, and with the chaplet other prayers started coming in, and I learned to pray the chaplet of Saint Michael. I've learned to pray the chaplet of the Memorare. I've learned to pray different rosaries. But every morning when I wake up, the first prayer that I do is a chaplet of Divine Mercy. And this chaplet, believe it or not, helped me put my anxiety at bay. For the most part. Like I said a few days ago, my anxiety kicked my butt. And it's going to come and go. But the main thing that we have to remember about anxiety is that it's a feeling. And feelings come from us. Which means that we can put these feelings at bay. We can put them to rest. If we have enough faith in ourselves, and we have enough faith in Jesus Christ, our anxiety will go away. It even says so in the Bible. If you guys read the Bible, Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7, it says, do not be anxious about anything, but with prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, give all your requests to God. What does this mean? It means that we never know what's going to happen. But God wants us to hand over our fears, our worries, our anxieties to him. And when we trust him enough, it means that our faith is strong, and he will take care of our anxieties. Guys, our financial situation is, I'm not saying it's the best, we're not rich, but the Lord gives us everything that we need. Everything that I was worried about a year and a half ago, especially our finances, the Lord answers prayers. He makes miracles happen. I don't know how we're still living in the apartment that we're in, because we live in California and rent is not cheap here, okay? But we haven't had any trouble paying any of our bills. We haven't had any trouble. We haven't had to find a roommate. We haven't had to move in with family. We haven't had to do any of those things because we have faith in this home. My husband has faith. I have faith. We know that God is real. We give him our fears. We give him our worries. We give him our anxieties. And after I remembered all of that, after I flipped out on Thursday night, I prayed, and I prayed hard. And a good friend of ours told me that God told him to pray for me. And he's been praying for me. And I think that is so beautiful because I feel that God told him, Sister Wendy needs you. She needs your prayers. And he is offering his prayers for me. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful for all of those people that pray for us, that pray for me, that pray for others, that think of everyone else but themselves, that put everyone else first. I thank God for all those people every day. And I thank God that I'm able to calm down, to pray, and to remember that God has me in his hands, and he will not let anything happen to me that I can't handle. I always have to remember to say, Jesus, I trust in you. And I know that when I say that, everything will be okay. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you will subscribe and keep watching the messages that I have for you whenever I have them. God bless you.